I know what you're thinking. You're looking at me right now and you're thinking, how did you get such even lighting on your face? Since you asked, I use one of these. This is a camera ring light. I could have just bought one. There's some inexpensive options, there's some very expensive options, but I have a 3D printer, so I made one myself. You want to see how I did it? Okay, I'll show you. Since I started making these videos, I've learned some new things about making videos. One of the things I've learned is how important lighting is. So to make this ring light, I had to draw my own design. I've used a lot of different CAD programs. The one I use now is called Onshape. It's pretty user-friendly, very capable, does everything I need it to do, and best of all, it's web-based, so you don't need to download any programs or update, and it's free as long as you're willing to make all of your drawing files public. Now, if you have anything really cool that you plan on trying to get a patent for, don't make it public. That'll ruin your chances of ever getting a patent. I found that out the hard way. Pretty much any drafting software that you use follows the same basic steps for making a model. You start with a 2D sketch, and then you extrude different parts of the sketch into 3D shapes. From there you can fine-tune things by adding fillets or chamfers or holes. It's not too hard to do and it's pretty useful, and there's lots of tutorials. So if you've never tried it before, go check out Onshape. It's pretty cool. Once I had all my parts drawn, it was time to 3D print them. These are all the parts. This is the base. This is the lid for the base. It'll slide on like that. It's a 9-volt battery. It'll go in there. These are 12-volt lights, actually. The lens out of clear ABS. The back, these two snap together. One screw with a nut on the end, and that's to keep it in this handle to tighten and loosen it. And a switch. Forgot to mention this. You can either buy a pack or you can just cut it off of something old. Okay, let's put it together. The lights I used were actually leftover scraps from when I did my crown molding LEDs. So I had to do some patching together and a little bit of soldering. If you do have to splice any lights together, make sure that you get your pluses lined up with your pluses and your minuses lined up with your minuses. They do a good job of labeling positive and negative on the lights themselves. There's a groove in the back of the ring light, and the LEDs have a sticky back. So just peel the back off and lay the lights down in the groove. When you get to the corners, you can just pinch and bend the strip of lights. One of the reasons that I made it in this shape instead of in a circle was because I thought this would be easier to manage those corners than to try and make it round by bending it a little bit all the way around the circle. This piece has a lip. It's made to fit right on top of this. Snap together. Excellent. The 9-volt battery fits right in the base, and the nut goes in this groove which holds it in place. It's a very clever way to make a clamp out of just a screw and a nut. I added a little bit of super glue to keep the nut that's up by the head of the screw secure. It'd be fine if you were just tightening, but when you go to loosen, if you don't have the nut secured, it'll just start spinning backwards. And this is made to slide in there, press that in real good. Then you can just thread the screw into the base like this. Now the clamp's done. There's a hole in the base, just the right size to fit this kind of a switch. If you have a different switch, you're going to need a different hole. Wiring on this is pretty simple. Just connect the ground or black leg of the battery connector to the ground or black leg on the lights. If you have some, it's nice to use a little bit of heat shrink tubing, but a little bit of electrical tape would work just fine too. Then take the positive or red wire from the battery connector and connect it to one leg of your switch. Connect the red wire from the lights to the other leg of your switch. A little bit of solder on each of those connections, and you're golden. Now you can connect your battery and test it out. In order to get the lid to slide on, I bent the tabs of the switch down a little bit. The lid does fit pretty tight, but it fits. That's about all there is to it. Now let's see how much of a difference the light makes. Light, no light. Light, no light. Light, no light. Better with light. So that's it. This is just a fun little project. There'll be plenty more of LED and home automation videos coming. Next video is going to be about sawn-off switches. Well, thanks for watching. That's it for now. Adios.